In this class, we will learn form handling with JavaScript. We will create a form and we will access those form and perform some actions like we will perform some validation on that form. Okay, here is a blank page is here, HTML page. In this HTML page body, I will first create a form. Okay, our approach will be we will try to learn how to access form step by step. I will develop on each of the steps and further proceed on to the next steps. So that what we are planning to do today. Okay, so I will first create a form. Form. Okay, so form action can be left as hash, that means it's blank. You just need to give a name to this form. I'll give a name is equal to registration. So that is the name of the form. And within that form, we will first try to create a text box. Okay. For that, we can type input type text, and within that, I can type a placeholder is equal to enter your name, and give it a name as I will give as user enum for representing username, and we can put. We can create a submit button, input type button, and its value is set as submit or register. Okay, so this is our form. Let's open this form in our web page, refresh this page. Okay, there is a code mistake here. I will clear all this code. Okay, now, okay, save this and I will refresh this page. Now you can see a text box with a placeholder and a button. Okay, now let us put this button on a new line. For that purpose, we can add two BR tags, BR and another BR. Okay. Now that button is in new line. Okay, forgot to save, I think. I saved this file. Oh, I added it at the end of this. We have to add this BR before this. Okay. So now I'll refresh this page. Now you can see the content. Okay, first thing we want to do is we will type a text and press register. Then we have to display that whatever we typed here in this console. Then we will get an understanding of how to access elements in the form. Okay. For that purpose, we first need to access this form. Through JavaScript, we need to access this form, and within that form, using this name, we can access this element, and using this name, okay, we also need to give this a name. I'll give name as register. Okay. Using this form's name and this user element, this element can be accessed, which is within the form. And using the form name and this element, we can access this submit button also. Okay. Let's check how can we do that. For this purpose, I will create a variable var. I will create a submit button. Okay, submit button is equal to document dot forms. There is a attribute of DOM that is called forms. Within that forms, it is an array. First, we have to specify the name of the form. Our name of the form is, our form's name is registration. So that is in form's name. So we first need to give registration. Okay. Then within this we can give, we have to access this submit button, right? So we next need to give the name of the element which we need to access. The name of the element is register. So here we can type it as register. Okay, I will save it. Now I will create an even listener to this. I will attach an even listener to this button. Add even listener. Within that, I can type click, and I can type a function there, function. Okay. Within that function, we can just press an alert message to check whether it is working or not. Okay, we can type a bang message. Okay, let's save this and open this file and refresh this. Now let's check. Okay, so that alert box is working. So using this, we have access this form and the corresponding register element, that which is the name of the button. Okay, so we have access this button and we have added an even listener to this. Click is the event and this is the function corresponding to that event. When that event occurs, this function triggers. Okay. So now what we need to do is, we need to print whatever we have typed here whenever we click on that button. Okay. For that purpose, we can create something like this. var text value or username is equal to document dot get or document dot forms. We can access it through forms. Document dot forms of registration, and within this we can type the name of that text box element, which is USRNM. Okay, just give it as USRNM here. Okay, I will save it. Now I will print the value of USRNM. USRNM. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, here we are going to display as object HTML input element. But what we want was the name Reginar got printed in the alert box. For that purpose, we need to do a simple tweak. We have to print the value within that text box. Okay, for getting that value, we can print dot value. Okay, now let's see what happens. I will type a name here. I will press register. Now you can see the text box value appeared here. So that's how you can access different elements within a form using JavaScript DOM. Okay, now what we are going to do is, we will check whether this text field is empty or not. Whenever we click on this button, we will check whether this text box is empty. If it is empty, we will print an error message. Okay, that's what we are planning to do. Okay, for that purpose, we can first check, we need to check whether the text box is empty. Okay, I will comment out this alert message. As the next statement, I have to check whether the text box is empty. For that purpose, I can use an if. If USRNM is equal to just blank, then it is empty. Then we can print there. We can print an alert message there. Alert. Enter username. Enter username. Okay, let's check it. I will press register button. So it's not working. Nothing got displayed. Some issues are there. So we will rectify this issue. I will press blank. Okay. So that's not the issue. Okay. I did something wrong there. Forms USRNM. Okay, we need to check USRNM dot value. We doesn't need to give this space there. Okay, we'll refresh this. Now whenever I click, a message got popped up which displays enter username. Okay, so enter username. So that is an error message. So that is a validation of username, whether username is present or not. I'm teaching you the simple basics of validation. Okay, so this page says enter username, so it's working. But you have seen in web browsers, these errors are not displayed as alert messages. These are displayed as within that page under the text box. Okay, so that's what we are planning to do next. How we can do that? That means whenever we get an error, we need to print that error below the form. Okay, so that's the thing we are going to do next. Okay, let's see how we can do that. For this purpose, I will first create a division with some ID. Okay, and that division is blank. Here I will print as error message or error MSG. So that will be our corresponding ID given to that division. Okay, I will save it. I will refresh this page. Now you can't see a division here because that division is empty. But you can also observe this element with source code. Within that source code, you can see that. Okay, let me check elements. Within that element, you can see there is a division is there, but that division is not visible. There is a form. This is a division is there. Okay, division whose name is error MSG. Okay, but it's empty. That's why nothing got displayed. If I print something here, it will also get displayed here. You can see that thing got displayed here. Okay. Now I remove that. I save it. Now what we need to do is we have to print the corresponding error message, that is enter username here. Okay, within that portion of those division. Okay, for this purpose I can do something like this. If instead of this alert message, if username is empty, instead of this alert message, I can print a content into that division tag which we created. Okay, so that means we will add a message here, text content or inner HTML here, which will then get displayed in the page. Okay, so I will use inner HTML. I will remove this and I will use I first need to access that division. Okay, so for that purpose I will create a variable like this, err msg is equal to document dot get element by id, and our id was error msg. Okay, now that division element will get accessed, and whose reference is stored in error msg variable. Okay, now I will use it like this, err msg dot inner HTML is equal to, I will print an entire HTML content here. I will print a paragraph tag here. And within that paragraph, I will type an error message like enter username. Okay. Let's see what happens now. I'll print. Okay. There an error message got displayed, enter username. So it's working fine. If I refresh this page and if I type something and after I press that, it will not work. That error message will not be available. Okay. Okay. Now that error message is in black color. We need to make that as red color. We can also do that by adding style to it. Style is equal to, style is an attribute. Within that single quotes, we can type color red. Okay, let's see what happens now. I will not type anything. I will refresh this page and I will click enter. Then you can see an error message appeared which is displayed in red color. Okay, that's what happened here. Okay, so we have validated the username, whether that username's field is empty or not. Okay. Now, what we are planning to do next is we will validate whether that username must be of length 3. Okay, username should be at least of 3 characters. We will verify it next. Okay, for that purpose I can either copy this message. I will copy this message and I will use something like this. If username.value equal to equal, instead of that equal to, I can type it as value less than 4. Less than 4. If it is less than 4, then print error message as we can type the error message as username must be at least 4 characters long. 4 characters long. Okay, I will type that error message there. Then I will refresh this page and I will type enter. Now you can see the error message, username must be at least 4 characters long. There was 2 error messages are present. One is enter username because that username field is empty, and then one is username must be at least 4 characters long. That means we can check that condition when username must be of 4 characters. But what happened here is the first error message doesn't go displayed. Only this error message got displayed. Why? Because the first message got displayed there, then it was overwritten by this message, because first this condition got executed, enter username message was printed, then after that this condition got also executed and this message got printed. That's what happened there. Okay, so how we can rectify this? Okay, we can rectify this by we can append messages one after another. That means we can append another message as the next line. Okay, insert it in the next line. Okay, we can do that. Okay, we will try it out. For appending that inner HTML with some content. Okay, imagine like this. There was an HTML content. We have to insert another HTML content without overwriting it, so that we will append this inner HTML contents, so that new tags will be created one after another. Okay. For that you just need to print a plus there, which is a shorthand for error message.innerHTML is equal to error message.innerHTML plus this content. That means we are concatenating, not plus, it is concatenation. The previously entered value is concatenated with new value. Okay, we will also put a plus here. Okay, let's see what happens now. I'll refresh, I'll print. So there are 2 messages. First this message appears, then this message appears. This condition is validated and this condition is also validated. That's what happened here. Okay, so that is a simple form of validation. Okay. Okay. Now if you want, you can type a else here. That means if username value is present, then only you need to check this message for if it is less than 4. Okay, you can do that. Use an else if. Okay, enter username message will only appear. If I refresh this and I will type a name of 2 characters long and I press register, nothing got displayed. Okay, there was a logical error. If this condition matched, then only this will execute. Else, if it is not blank, then it will check whether it is 4 characters long. The condition doesn't got executed. Okay, let's see what happened here. Okay, there is some problem. Okay, so that is, I think there is a logical mistake. If this is empty, this will not work. If this is not empty, that means there is some content, then this will work. Okay, let me revert it back. Okay, that message is not getting displayed. Okay, there is some problem within that. I need to rectify it. Oh, not value. There you need to check value dot length. The value's length should be, number of characters should be less than 4. I was checking about just a number. Okay, so that was mistaken there. Okay, username must be at least 4 characters long. Okay, you can use an else if there. That means if this condition doesn't match, then only it will check. Okay, if I type single letter, this error message appears. If I refresh this and I type nothing, this error message appears. Okay, if I type, okay, so that's the case. If I type 4 lines, then nothing will appear. So that is a simple form of validation. You have validated whether that text is present or not, and you have also checked the length of the string, whether that string's length is less than 4. Then you will print an error message that it should need to be at least 4 characters or 4 characters long. Okay, now we will expand on based on this. Now we will create a password field also. Okay, let's create a password field. For that, I will create input type password. Input type password, and I will give it as a name as PSWD, and I will give it a name. Okay, we have already given a name there. Name password. We will type a placeholder there. Placeholder. Enter password. Enter your password. Okay. I will save it. I will open this. I will copy this, or I will type this BR also. BR and another one BR. Okay. I will save this file. I will open up. Now you can see, enter your name, enter your password. The similar way we have applied this validation to this text box, you can also apply this validation to this password field also. This is password field because we have given us input type password. Okay, it's the same. Okay, now we will create one more input password field, that is retype password. I will type it as R password. Okay, enter retype password. Okay, please retype password. Okay, so retype password. Now we need to match whether these two values are equal or not. If these two values are not equal, then show that error message too. Okay, that's what we are going to do next. For that purpose, I will first get access to these two password fields also. I will type something like this: var username is equal to document dot forms of. Okay, so sorry, my mistake. We have read it here. Username is equal to username got access. Then we will also type PSWD is equal to document dot forms of I will type registration, and I will type something like this, PSWD. Okay. Now I will type var our password document dot forms of registration, and I will type our password. Okay, save it, and I will check condition here. Condition is like this: if PSWD not equal to RPSWD, that is if both password and retype password are not the same, then we can just print an error message just like this. Okay, I will copy this error message here. Okay, I'll copy this error message. I'll use this error message. Passwords must match. We will type an error message as passwords must match. Passwords must match. Okay, so that error message will appear. Okay, let's check it. I'll first print enter username, and that password must match error occurs. Okay, let me refresh this and type this username. Okay, I'll type username, then this error appears. Okay, I'll refresh this. Now I will type a username here. I will type password 123 something, and I will type password something different. Okay, register, and error message will appear. Okay, this time I will resolve. Okay, I will type 1234, and I will type 1234. Check it. Passwords must match. There is an error, so we will check it what happened there. Okay, we need to give value there, dot value. So that what we forgot there, dot value. I am making this mistake deliberately. No, I just got up this errors. Okay. So nothing displays. If I type something like this, then an error appears. This is 4 characters long and this is 5 characters long. So this error message will appear. That's how you can check for whether that password are matching or not. So these are kinds of validations that can be done through JavaScript. Okay. Now we will check one more. We will proceed one more steps ahead. That is, we will use a radio button, and we will check whether either of the radio button is pressed or not. Okay. For that purpose, I will first create a label, and label 4 within we can type it as gender. Okay, type it as gender. Then within a new line, create input type radio. A radio button need to be created, and within that name you can give it as name as male. Oh sorry, for radio button use common name. I will type it as gender. It doesn't need to specify ID. It's okay if you specify ID also. Within that value field, type it as M. And I will create one more input radio button. Input radio. Here I will also give it as a name as gender. And it doesn't need to specify ID there. Just give a value there. Value I will type it as female F. Okay. Now what I can do is I'll refresh this page. Gender, there is a radio button, there is a gender, there is a BR. Okay, after this BR, after this use a label. Okay, type here male. So text will appear as male. I'll refresh this. Now you can see male. There is some mistake with this closing sequence. Okay. Okay, it appears out of order. This text box. Okay, I have did some mistakes while typing there. We need to find it out and rectify it. Username, password, gender, password. That is retype password field. No, gender. Oh, I did a mistake. It's not input type password. I did a mistake here. Not input type password. It need to be radio. Input type radio. We need to give it as radio. Input type radio. I will copy this and I will paste it here also. Okay. Now you can see. I'll refresh this. There are two buttons are there, male and mail. It appeared male because here we have given it as male. Here we have to give it as female. Okay. Save it and refresh it. Okay. Now what we are going to check is it's radio button. The radio button, that means you can select either one of these things. Okay. Either one of these things can be selected. That option appeared there because these two radio button has the same name. That's why you can only select any of the two. Okay, either you can select this or you can select this. Okay, now what we are going to do is we will check for whether either one of these are selected. Okay, so either of these values are selected or not. For that purpose, I will first access radio button. Okay. I will first access var radio buttons btns document dot forms of, within that I can type it as registration, and within the square box I will type the name of the radio button. The name of the radio button is gender. The name of the radio button is gender. Okay. I'll refresh this. Okay. So this radio button got accessed. Now I will check. Let's just display this radio button, console.log radio button. We are checking whether it's working or not. Buttons. Okay. Save it and I will refresh it. Just click on this. Okay. You can see a radio node list there. Node list containing two elements, 0 and 1. 0 representing that corresponding male button and 1 representing corresponding 1, that female. Okay. Okay, we need to make one more change. Okay, it's fine. Okay, what happened here is, for this radio button we have print that in console window. There it got displayed as a node list, and that node list containing two input elements representing these two radio buttons. We will check whether either this or this is checked or this is checked. Okay. For that purpose, I will first create a variable. Var valid radio, valid gender. It's equal to, I will set it as false. Okay. And then I will iterate through what we can do is we will create one more variable, var I is equal to 0. Okay, we will check whether I less than valid gender dot valid gender not did a mistake there. We need to type radio btns dot length. Okay, whether that length number of radio buttons, that's what we obtain with radio buttons dot length. We will check for i's value with this. Okay, if radio buttons of I equal to dot check, there is an argument called checked for checking whether it is checked or not. If any of this is checked, then we will set valid gender as equal to true, and outside of this we will break from this loop, and outside of this we will check whether if valid gender equal to false. If it is false, we need to print an error message. We will just print an error message as check any of the select a gender. Okay, let's see what happens now. I'll refresh this. I will click here. Nothing got displayed. So there is some error happened there. Okay, that happened because we doesn't incremented the i's value. We need to increment the value of I. Okay, we'll save it. We'll refresh it. Okay, I will click on. Okay, so it has fallen in an infinite loop. So you need to understand why it's important to increment the value of I or loop variable. Okay, in the previous case it has been this condition has been fallen into infinite loop. Okay, it's not working because it's infinite loop. Okay, I need to close that page and I need to open it again. Okay, I will open that page again, reopen, close the tab. Reopen, close tab. Okay, okay, I will open up console window. I'll refresh this and I will type register. You can see that error message here, select a gender. Okay, I'll refresh this, I'll print this, I will select any of this, then only that enter username message will appear. Okay, so here we have validated whether any of these radio button has been selected. So you can handle form in this manner. So we have systematically studied how to handle forms. Okay, I'll restart this from the basics. Okay, so we have reference to the individual elements in the form. For accessing that, we can use document.forms. Within that, we can type registration, which is the name of the form, and then register, it is the name of the element. Okay. In the second case, we have access. Okay, we have also created an error message division here for displaying any of the error message. Okay. We have accessed that error message division also. Then we have added a on click event to the submit button. Okay, whenever we click on that button, we added an on click event. Click even listener is added. So this is the end. So within that, we will access the value of individual elements. Username is there, password is there, retype password is there, and set of radio buttons is there. So we have access each of these. Registration of square bracket, we can type username, then password, retype password, and gender. Then we have checked whether username's value equal to blank. Then we will print an error message. This plus equal to is used for concatenation with the previous error message. We have to make that text appear as the next following paragraph in the previous error message. So that's why we have used this plus equal to. Okay. Then we have checked condition whether username dot value dot length, whether it's length less than 4, then we will print another error message. Then we have checked for whether password matches or not. Then we have print another error message. Then for checking radio button, we first set this valid gender any variable as false. Then we have initialize I is equal to 0. Then we have when we create a radio button, it becomes a list. Okay, so that's why we have to iterate through a list. For that purpose, I checked whether I dot length I less than radio buttons dot length. For that means iterate for every radio button. Okay, for the first radio button, it checks whether it is checked or not. If it is checked, valid gender becomes true. Then the break statement executes and the control breaks out of the loop. Here i's value is incremented. Okay, each of these condition is verified. If any of the values is checked, then this got executed and loop is break. Valid gender becomes true. If none of this got executed, then I increments continuously and it breaks naturally out of the loop, and here valid gender's value will be false. That's what happened there, and error message will be printed as select a gender. Okay, so that is form handling in JavaScript. We will see in the next video. Thank you.